Welcome all of you in a series of lecture on chemical bonding. In earlier four parts, we have seen octet rule, valence bond theory, and hybridization. On the basis of valence bond theory, we have successfully explained formation of sigma and pi bonds, while on the basis of hybridization of atomic orbitals on central atom, we have explained geometries of molecule and bond angles in the molecule. But valence bond theory has some limitations, such as valence bond theory cannot explain paramagnetic nature of oxygen molecule. Likely, it cannot explain many spectral properties of molecule. Hence, in 1932, molecular orbital theory was put forth. The theory was put forth by Mulliken, and the basis of the molecular orbital theory is quantum physics. I will explain molecular orbital theory in parts, and today is the first part. In this part, I will explain formation of the molecular orbital on the basis of atomic orbital. What are the rules for the formation of molecular orbital? What is bonding orbital? What is antibonding orbital? What is sigma orbitals, and what are the pi molecular orbitals? So, in this lecture, we will explain what are the limitations of valence bond theory, what are molecular and atomic orbital, how molecular orbitals are formed, what are bonding and antibonding molecular orbital, what is sigma and pi bonding molecular orbital, and their energies. Once again, see, the plan of this lecture is what are the limitations of valence bond theory, what are atomic and molecular orbital, how molecular orbitals are formed, bonding and antibonding molecular orbital, and sigma and pi molecular orbitals and their energies. So this is the part we'll explain in this lecture. So what are the advantages of valence bond theory? Valence bond theory is based on the atomic overlap of atomic orbital. Very straightforward and the simple concept put forth. The atomic orbitals having appropriate energy and the symmetry overlap with each other to form the bond. The first concept. The second concept, formation of sigma and pi bond. Sigma bond is formed by axial overlap of atomic orbital, while pi bond is formed by sidewise overlap of atomic orbital. Then we have to explain the geometries of the molecule and the bond angles. So geometry and the bond angles are explained in the valence bond theory by the concept of hybridization. The concept of hybridization was introduced in the valence bond theory, and on the basis of the concept of hybridization, the bond angles and the geometries of molecule are very well explained. So if you see the valence bond theory, it takes the advantage of the Lewis theory, Lewis structure. It is the first methodology where the electronic concept was introduced. The second concept was valence shell electron pair repulsion model was introduced to explain the geometries of the molecule, and valence bond theory has taken the advantage of both the electronic structure as well as the concept of VSEPR, and depending on these simplicities of both the model, the straightforward and the simple concept was put forth in the valence bond theory, which is more useful to explain the bonding in the molecule. Till the valence bond theory has some limitations. What are these limitations? The magnetic properties, do molecule is diamagnetic or paramagnetic, is not explained by valence bond theory. Then the spectral properties of molecule, they are not explained by the valence bond theory. And the third one, bond length in some polyatomic molecules, they are not explained by the valence bond theory. These are the limitations. And to overcome these limitations of valence bond theory, the next and the most advanced theory was put forth. This theory labeled as or the named as molecular orbital theory. So it is a very different concept from the valence bond theory, and this is the most advanced theory which explain all the properties of molecule. So if you see in the valence bond theory, it was put forth in 1932 by Robert Mulliken and his co-workers, and the basis of theory is quantum theory of physics applied in the chemistry, or today it is also called as a quantum chemistry. So what is the basis of molecular orbital theory? The basis of molecular orbital theory is that the formation of molecular orbitals take place in the molecule. So atomic orbital of different atom combine with each other, and this atomic orbital form new types of orbital in the molecule, and these new type of orbital they are called as a molecular orbital. Then the second concept, the molecular orbitals are formed from the different types of atomic orbital, and these molecular orbital have different energies and different shapes. These molecular orbitals are arranged in a molecule according to their energies. These are the 3-4 major concepts in the molecular orbital theory, and we will explain in a series of lecture all these concepts in detail. Okay? So the very first concept in this lecture we have to explain is how molecular orbital is formed. So ultimately answer is molecular orbital is formed from the combination of atomic orbital. So the two or more atomic orbital combine with each other, and they are of different atoms. Ultimately they combine with each other to form the molecule. So how the combination of atomic orbital take place? Up till we have seen the atomic orbital can overlap with each other, but up till we have not seen the combination of atomic orbital. So the concept that we have to explain is the combination of atomic orbital, and the combination of atomic orbital they form the molecular orbital. So we have the atomic orbital. Suppose this is the 1s atomic orbital of the first atom. This is the 1s atomic orbital of the second atom. Okay. So these two orbital of a different atom can combine with each other, and they will combine at bonding distance. Okay. So we have two separate atoms. These orbitals are the atoms when approaches towards each other at bonding distance. These orbitals will combine, will fuse with each other, and they form molecular orbital. Just see the representation. Okay. So molecular orbital is formed by the combination of two s atomic orbital. But if you see this combination, it is governed by the rules of the quantum chemistry. So it is not very simple and the straightforward concept. So we have the atomic orbital. What atomic orbital represent? it represents the area in the atom where there is maximum possibility, maximum probability of finding the electron. Like this, we have molecular orbital. How we will define the molecular orbital? Molecular orbital is present in the molecule and it represents their area in the molecule where there is maximum probability of finding the electron. Okay. So atomic orbital in an atom, molecular orbital in an molecule. So we have the atomic orbital and we have the molecular orbital. So ultimately, if you see the atomic and molecular orbital, they are different from each other. Why they are different? So atomic orbital, if you see, it is located in an atom, in the single atom. So it is localized, while molecular orbital it is located in the atom. So it is delocalized over two or more atoms. This is the major difference. So if you see the atomic orbital and the molecular orbital is different in shape from the atomic orbital. Molecular orbital is delocalized over two or more atoms, while atomic orbital is localized over the one atom only. And if you see, the molecular orbital has different shape than that of the atomic orbital. And the last one, atomic orbital and molecular orbital has different energies. So the point to be remember is that atomic orbital is present in the atom, molecular orbital is present in the molecule, and they have their different properties. Atomic orbital and molecular orbital, they have different properties such as they have different shapes, they have different energies, and they have the different localization. So now question is that how atomic orbital combine to form molecular orbital. So it is not a very straightforward, but it is governed by the concept of the mathematics and the rules of the quantum chemistry. So one of the method, simple method to explain formation of molecular orbital in the molecule is linear combination of atomic orbital, and this is always abbreviated as LCAO. L for linear, C for combination, A for atomic, O for orbital. Linear combination of atomic orbital. This is the method used to explain the formation of molecular orbital. Okay. So we have atomic orbital. So what is atomic orbital? It explains the area in an atom where there is a maximum probability of finding the electron, and you are familiar that electron is in continuous motion and electron continuously go around the nucleus in the atom. Thus this motion of electron generate atomic orbital. Okay, and this atomic orbital or the motion of electron in an atom can be explained mathematically by a sine wave. So we have the atom and I have shown the electron. This electron goes around the nucleus, and when this electron goes around the nucleus, it generates the sine wave. Just look at the representation. Okay, so when electron moves around the nucleus, we get the sine wave, and this is due to the motion of electron. So if you see the sine wave, this is the positive wave function of the sine wave, and this is the negative function of the sine wave. So sine wave have negative function and sine wave have positive wave function. So if you see the the LCO method can be explained on the basis of formation of hydrogen molecule. So now consider the formation of hydrogen molecule. Ultimately the two hydrogen atoms, suppose Ha and Hb, they combine together to form hydrogen molecule. Hydrogen has electronic configuration 1s1. It means that 1s atomic orbital of hydrogen atom is half filled. The 1s atomic hydrogen atom of 1s atomic orbital of two hydrogen atom can combine to form the molecular orbital. Thus, ultimately we have to consider the wave functions of the two atomic orbitals. Suppose 1s atomic orbital of the hydrogen atom A, wave function psi A, and we have the hydrogen atom Hb and the wave function of 1s atomic orbital in the Hb is psi b. So we have the two atomic orbital and two wave functions psi a and psi b. The combination of atomic orbital can be explained on the basis of the combination of psi a and psi b mathematically. So if you see, the interaction between two hydrogen atoms is possible to form molecular orbital when they approaches at bonding distance. At bonding distance, electron cloud of these two atoms can fuse together to form molecular orbital. So when the two atoms come nearer to each other, the wave functions of two atoms can combine to form the new wave function, and the new wave function is called as a psi, that is the wave function for the molecule. So the formation of new wave function in molecule psi can be explained on the basis of the linear combination of the atomic orbital or LCO method. So here we have the 1s atomic orbital of the two atom. Okay, so 1s atomic orbital of Ha, 1s atomic orbital of the Hb. Okay, so we have the two wave functions. When the electron moves around the nucleus, the wave functions are generated, and suppose these wave functions are psi a and psi b. In earlier lecture already we have seen the psi wave function may be positive. So this is the positive wave function. This is the negative part of the wave function, like this here, positive wave function and the negative wave function. So sine wave generate the positive and negative wave function. So as wave function can be positive or negative, the combination of wave function, that is atomic orbital, can take place by two different ways. So the first way, the wave function can interact in phase. What it means, the positive wave function of one orbital interact with positive wave function of another atom represented as psi a plus psi b. In this case, summation of wave take place and the summation of wave generate the another wave function. So we have the two atoms Ha and Hb. Okay, they will electron when go around the nucleus, the waves are generated. So we have the psi A and psi B. These are the two waves. They will combine in phase. Okay. What it means? The positive wave function will overlap with positive wave function of another wave, or negative wave function of one wave will overlap with negative wave function of the another wave. Okay, so you can see in the representation the two waves are combined, and when two waves are combined we get the new wave function. New function, new wave function is the sum of psi A and psi B, and this will form the molecular orbital. Thus you can see the amplitude of the wave. This is the amplitude of the wave. As summation of the wave take place, the amplitude increases, and total amplitude is the sum of wave functions of the amplitude of the two waves. Okay, so we get the new wave function with high amplitude. So this is the one way of the combination of two wave functions or two atomic orbitals. Positive positive overlap and negative negative overlap, or positive wave function of one orbital overlap with positive wave function, likely negative wave function of one orbital overlap with negative wave function of another, and we get the sum of the two waves. Earlier slide we have seen the in phase interaction of two atomic orbitals. Now we'll see second way by which two wave functions can combine with each other, and they can combine with each other out of phase. Okay, out of phase means what? The positive wave function of one wave interact with, overlap with the negative wave function of another wave. This result into the subtraction of the two waves, and this is called as a out of phase interaction. Okay, so here you can see we have the two atomic orbital, one s atomic orbital of one hydrogen atom, another hydrogen atom. Okay, so when electron goes around, they will produce the two sine waves, and you can see these are two sine waves. So in the representation you can see the positive wave function correspond to the negative wave function, negative correspond to the positive one. When such a two waves will combine with each other, that is positive wave function will overlap with negative wave function, and we will get the subtraction of two waves, the cancellation of the two waves. Okay, so positive and negative, the subtraction take place, and in this case we will get the wave where amplitude is a negligible, amplitude is a very small. So if we have the two wave functions psi A and psi B, they can combine with each other according to LCAO method by in phase interaction, where summation of the wave take place, or out of phase interaction where subtraction of the waves take place. Okay, so what are the results of in phase interaction or out of phase interaction? First we start with the result of in phase interaction. So the molecular orbital which is formed by in phase interaction, that gives rise construction of electron density and it is between two atomic nuclei. So when in-phase interaction take place, summation of the wave take place, and this result into the molecular orbital where there is maximum electron density is present between two atomic nuclei. Such a molecular orbital form is called as a bonding molecular orbital, and this bonding molecular orbital gives rise bonding interaction in the molecule. Okay, so we have the diagrammatic representation here. You can see 1s atomic orbital of one hydrogen atom, 1s atomic orbital of another hydrogen atom. They will interact in phase. Okay, so these are the two separate atoms. Now just see the representation. When these are two atoms, one atom and second atom will combine with each other at bonding distance, we get the summation of the waves, and this will result into the formation of the bonding molecular orbital. Just look at the representation, that is animation. Okay, so combination of two atomic orbital result into the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so this represent the one atomic nucleus, this represent another atomic nucleus, and the electron density is constructed in between these two atomic nuclei. In this part, the electron density is maximum. Then the out of phase interaction, okay, two atomic orbital interact in out of phase way with each other, and when they interact with out of phase, what will happen? Okay, so look at the animation. Okay, so if you see the electron density counter, this is the electron density counter, the maximum away from the nucleus. So this atomic orbital is called as a antibonding molecular orbital. This is formed by out of phase interaction. So electron density is constructed out of two atomic nuclei. This is one atomic nucleus. This is another atomic nucleus. There is minimum electron density between two, and maximum electron density is constructed out of two nuclei. So when we have the antibonding molecular orbital, it results into the antibonding interaction. So when we will see the filling of electron in the bonding and antibonding molecular orbital, then we will see what happens. But when electrons are present only in bonding molecular orbital, the bonding interaction, and if both atomic or molecular orbitals are fulfilled, the bonding as well as antibonding, there is no interaction, the molecule is not formed. In the latter part, we'll explain this in detail. Okay, so if you see in the atom, there are different types of atomic orbital. S atomic orbital, P atomic orbital. In the P we have the three types, Px, Py, Pz. Then we have the D atomic orbital. So all the atomic orbital, they cannot combine with each other. Certain atomic orbital will combine with each other, and there are the rules of the quantum chemistry. According to the rules, atomic orbital can combine with each other to form the molecular orbital. So what are the rules? Two atomic orbital can combine to form molecular orbital when the energies of two atomic orbital is same or comparable. One atomic orbital which is very lower in energy than another, then the combination is not possible. Second criteria, they should have same symmetry. Symmetry is more appropriate word than the orientation. They should have the same symmetry or the appropriate symmetry, and then the atomic orbital can combine with each other. Then we have the third rule. They can combine with same signs of the lobes, okay, or opposite signs of the lobes. The molecular orbital can be formed when the combination in phase, that is the two waves combine with each other where overlap of the same wave function take place. This result in the bonding MO, and when two waves overlap with opposite signs, then we get the molecular orbital, which is antibonding molecular orbital. Overlap of atomic orbital along the internuclear axis is possible, as well as perpendicular to the internuclear axis is possible. When overlap takes place along the internuclear axis, sigma bond is formed. When overlap takes place along the perpendicular to the internuclear axis, the pi bond is formed. Okay, so the overlap is possible by two ways along the internuclear axis or perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So depending on these four rules, the following types of combination of atomic orbitals is possible. So s orbital can combine with another s orbital called as a s combination. Then second, s orbital can combine with any of the p orbital, that is spx, spy, spz interaction, and both of these interaction, ss or sp interaction, will lead to the formation of the sigma bond. Then the another interaction is possible, that is the internuclear overlap between pz atomic orbital along the internuclear axis, and this will lead to the formation of the sigma bond. Okay, pz orbital overlap along internuclear axis to form the sigma bond. And the last type of interaction, px or py orbital can combine with each other to form the pi bond. So we have the four rules. The energies of two atomic orbital must be comparable. They must have the appropriate symmetry. The two orbital can combine with positive overlap or negative overlap. Positive overlap will lead bonding molecular orbital. Negative overlap will form antibonding molecular orbital. The overlap or the combination along internuclear axis will lead to the formation of sigma bond. The interaction perpendicular to the internuclear axis will form pi bond. The ss orbital overlap or sp orbital overlap will lead to the formation of the sigma bond. pz orbital overlap will also lead to the formation of the sigma bond. That is, these three interactions, they will take place along the internuclear axis and they will form the sigma bond, while px or py orbital interaction, orbital overlap is perpendicular to the internuclear axis and it will lead to the formation of pi bond. Okay, so formation of the sigma and pi bonds by different types of the combination we will explain in the next slides. Okay, so ss orbital overlap, already we have seen the 2s atomic orbital, the positive overlap. So positive wave function here, positive wave function, they can combine with each other. Okay, so look at the animation. Positive overlap will take place and they will lead to the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Already we have explained this bonding molecular orbital in detail. So antibonding molecular orbital, ss orbital can have positive negative overlap, and positive negative overlap. So we have the positive wave function, the negative wave function of another atom. They will combine with each other, and when they will combine with each other, we get the formation of antibonding molecular orbital. So S orbital overlap, in phase bonding molecular orbital, out of phase antibonding molecular orbital. Okay, so here in bonding molecular orbital, electron density is constructed along the internuclear axis and maximum electron density is constructed between two atomic nuclei. If you see an antibonding molecular orbital, again electron density is constructed along the internuclear axis, but minimum electron density is constructed between two atomic nuclei and maximum electron density is constructed out of the two atomic nuclei. Yes, pz atomic orbital overlap. Why we are consider pz? Since pz orbital is always considered along the internuclear axis. Okay, so you have to remember very well. Pz atomic orbital is considered oriented along the internuclear axis. Okay, so we have the s atomic orbital, we have the pz atomic orbital. The positive lobe of pz atomic orbital is oriented toward the positive lobe of s orbital. Okay, when they will combine. Okay, just look at the animation. Okay, when these two atomic orbital will combine with each other, we get the formation of bonding molecular orbital. And the important thing is that the combination is possible when two orbital located at the bonding distance. Okay, so we get this bonding molecular orbital form here. So we have the one atomic nucleus, we have the another atomic nucleus. The maximum electron density is between two atomic nuclei and the minimum out of atomic nuclei. Okay, so the spz atomic orbital, this is the bonding molecular orbital. The another possibility, spz atomic orbital can give rise positive negative overlap, that is out of phase interaction. So positive wave function of the s orbital interact with negative wave function of the pz atomic orbital, and this interaction led to the formation of antibonding molecular orbital. So look at the animation. Two atomic orbital approaches each other, and when they just in contact with each other, they fuse with each other, and we get formation of the new molecular orbital. Okay, this new molecular orbital is antibonding molecular orbital. Again, ultimately maximum electron density is constructed away from atomic nuclei, but in both the cases bonding molecular orbital as well as antibonding molecular orbital, the electron density is constructed along the internuclear axis. Okay, so this will result in the formation of sigma bond. The third type of interaction, the pz-pz orbital, and pz-pz orbital can have positive-positive overlap or negative-negative overlap. It means that the interaction between two pz atomic orbital of two atoms will take place in the phase. Okay, so we have the one pz atomic orbital, we have another pz atomic orbital. The positive lobe overlap with positive lobe or positive wave function overlap with positive wave function, negative wave function overlap with negative wave function, and we get the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so pz-pz interaction will lead to the formation of the bonding molecular orbital, and you can see in this bonding molecular orbital maximum electron density is constructed between two atomic nuclei and very less out of two atomic nuclei. Again, electron density is around the internuclear axis. Maximum electron density between the two atomic nuclei, and it is along the internuclear axis. Ultimately, the pz-pz interaction will lead to the formation of the sigma bond. Okay, the pz-pz orbital can have positive negative overlap, positive wave function overlap with negative wave function, and this will lead to the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. So positive overlap with negative overlap of another orbital, and this interaction will lead to the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, so positive negative overlap take place, and this will lead to the formation of anti-bonding molecular orbital. And in anti-bonding molecular orbital, again you can see maximum electron density is away from two atomic nuclei, but electron density is constructed along the internuclear axis. Okay, so pz atomic orbital, positive positive or negative negative interaction will lead to the formation of bonding molecular orbital. Positive negative interaction will lead to the formation of antibonding molecular orbital. Now the px interaction. Okay, so we have px interaction, positive positive and negative negative overlap is possible. So positive positive, negative negative, and when these two orbitals will combine with each other, they will form anti-bonding, bonding molecular orbit. Okay, just look at the animation. Okay, two atoms approaches each other, and at bonding distance they will fuse to form the molecular orbit. But if you see this interaction is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, so electron density is constructed above and below the internuclear axis, but maximum electron density is between two atomic nuclei, one atomic nuclei and two atomic nuclei, and if using this part represent maximum electron density is constructed between two atomic nuclei but perpendicular to the internuclear axis, and as it is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, this will result in the formation of the pi bonding molecular orbit. Now px interaction, and it is out of phase. Positive negative overlap, and when such a positive negative overlap will take place, you can see here positive wave function, negative wave function, and this positive negative wave function when interact with each other, okay, they will construct the electron density away from the atomic nuclei as well as perpendicular to the atomic nuclei, perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So you can see electron density counters, these electron density counters, they are away from the atomic nuclei and perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So this will result into the antibonding interaction. Okay, so we have px or the py orbital that can give rise the overlap perpendicular to the internuclear axis, and when overlap is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, we can get pi bonding or pi antibonding type of the interaction. Okay, so up till we have seen ss orbital overlap, s pz atomic orbital overlap, pz atomic orbital overlap. Up till we have seen the two types of interaction between two wave functions of atomic orbital. These are in phase interaction or out of phase interaction. Till Third type of interaction is possible between two atomic orbitals, and this is called as a non-bonding interaction. In this case, the positive wave function of one orbital overlap with positive as well as negative wave function of another orbital at a time or simultaneously. So the positive wave function at a time overlap with positive and negative wave function of another orbital, and this result into the non-bonding interaction. So in this case what happens? Say we have the S atomic orbital, okay, and it is oriented so that it can simultaneously overlap with negative as well as a positive lobe of say px atomic orbital. Okay, so in this case, so interaction is possible along internuclear axis, and if you see the overlap on this side, we have positive negative overlap, while on this side we have positive positive overlap. So you can see that positive positive overlap as well as positive negative overlap take place simultaneously, take place at a time, and in this case the peculiarity is that the positive positive interaction is exactly cancelled by positive negative interaction. As such, there is no bonding interaction in this case. Okay, no bonding or anti-bonding interaction. So, such an interaction between two atomic orbitals is called as non-bonding interaction. Now, we have the bonding, anti-bonding, molecular orbital, and do their energies are similar? Ultimately answer is no. The bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital, they result into the different types of interaction, and hence the energies of the molecular orbitals are not same. So if you see MO is formed by interaction of AOs. So ultimately, the energies of atomic orbital get distributed among the molecular orbital. If two molecular orbital are formed from the two atomic orbital, say 1s atomic orbital of two hydrogen atom form one bonding and one anti-bonding molecular orbital, the energy of 1s atomic orbital get distributed between two molecular orbital, that is bonding and anti-bonding. What is the characteristic of bonding molecular orbital? The bonding molecular orbital result into force of attraction between two atomic nuclei or between the atoms. Therefore, there is decrease in energy. So, if you see bonding molecular orbital have lower energy than atomic orbital as well as anti-bonding molecular orbital. If you see now anti-bonding molecular orbital, the characteristic is that it result into the force of repulsion. And if you see the force of repulsion, the energy increases. So, energy of anti-bonding molecular orbital is higher than AO as well as as well as bonding molecular orbital. So, the energies of atomic and molecular orbital as well as two atomic orbital as well as two molecular orbital is not same. This can be seen from the following molecular energy level diagram. Suppose this is the energy level of 1s atomic orbital and corresponding another 1s atomic orbital. interaction between these two will lead to the formation of one bonding molecular orbital, another anti-bonding molecular orbital. This axis, this represents the energy. Energy increases in the upward direction. So at the center we have, at the middle of bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital, we have atomic molecular orbital. Okay. So bonding molecular, anti-bonding molecular. This is called as a Barry center. Okay. The Barry center. So now if you see the bonding molecular orbital, there is decrease in energy, and if you see anti-bonding molecular orbital, there is increase in energy. So the bonding molecular orbital has less energy than that of the atomic orbital, while antibonding molecular orbital have greater energy than that of the atomic orbital. The decrease in energy, if you see the the bonding molecular orbital, decrease in energy take place. Similar increase in energy of antibonding molecular orbital take place. So decrease and increase in energy of bonding and antibonding molecular orbital is same. This is the very important characteristic regarding the energies of atomic and the molecular orbitals. So last point, the characteristic and the differences between bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital. So bonding molecular orbital, maximum electron density is constructed between two atomic nuclei. Antibonding molecular orbital, maximum electron density is constructed out of two atomic nuclei. Bonding molecular orbital result into the bonding interaction, that is, it gives rise force of attraction between two atoms or two atomic nuclei. Antibonding molecular orbital result into the repulsive interaction, so it result into the non-bonding interaction. Bonding molecular orbital is lower in energy than atomic orbital. Anti-bonding molecular orbital is higher in energy than bonding molecular orbital as well as atomic molecular orbital. So in this session we have seen the formation of molecular orbitals from the atomic orbital and how different atomic orbitals combine with each other to form the molecular orbital. For this session we will stop here. In the next session we will see the molecular orbital energy level diagram, formation of the different molecule H2, then Ha2, Li2, B2, then Be2, C2, O2, N2 and F2 molecules.